Alright, so we're in Studio D's live room. What we have here is just a computer acting as a source, playing some music. We got a microphone hooked up. Going into our mic panel over here, we're going into input number 2 on our mic panel. Let me turn this up. So what that should mean is that on our console, we're going to see that coming in on input 2. Let me shut the door. And here we are with Mauricio Gargel. He's going to help out the cause. We're on our SSL AWS 900. This is 924. And we're going to have this set up in a split configuration, a traditional split configuration. This is a hybrid console, so it allows you to do multiple types of routing, analog as well as control surface, so it can interact with Pro Tools, which is really convenient, but we're just going to use it in a traditional sense just to get a general overview of signal flow. Alright, so what are we seeing here, Mauricio? On channel 2 we're seeing the input of the microphone.
Yeah, phantom power is on. This is the input of the microphone.
Okay, we've turned up the preamp level, the mic level. If we turn that down, obviously we're going to see that level go down. So this is my first gain stage. This is the most important gain stage. Now our source is a song playing out of a MacBook. So it's nothing crazy. But look, we're getting a little over right there. So that means our preamp level is too high. We're giving it too much gain. We know it needs some gain, but we want to find the right place. Ideally, that's your 0 VU, which is kind of your ideal point. Not too much, not close to distortion, and far enough away from your noise floor. Great, that looks really nice. Okay, so what's happening with our path? We have preamp goes there.
And then I have the filter section here.
So we can insert EQs if we want to alter it.
This is the on and off for the EQ.
Okay.
And this is for sends. If you want to do like headphone mixes or send to an effects during the mix, these are the sends.
The auxiliary sends there. Yes. Okay. Then
pan pot.
Good old pan pot.
Left and right. And then the fader. Okay. Well, before that we have the mute and solo button.
Okay. Cut or mute basically cuts the signal off right at that point. Solo allows us, there are many solo versions, but this particular solo is going to allow us just to hear that one particular signal isolated. Alright, so now this fader right here is going to determine how loud it's going to go into our Pro Tools. Our Pro Tools is our multi-track machine for this particular setup here. So if we look at our screen up here, if I could get this with some kind of lighting without being totally... So this is acting as my tape machine. So now the fader on the console is down. So as Mauricio turns that up, we're going to start seeing signal levels sent. So now it's getting to the multi-track. So this is a combination of my 2 gain stages so far. My microphone preamp and my channel fader, which is sometimes people call it your send a tape fader. That's my channel fader, and that's going to determine how loud the signal is going to be, the level of the signal going to your multi-track recorder. So then out of this, we're going to have this now in order to hear it, because it's great, we see signal but we don't know what it sounds like. We want to be able to hear this, so this is going to now come out of the multi-track, out of Pro Tools. And in a split configuration, we have our input section here, which Mauricio labeled with red, showing our input section. And then over to the right, we have a green section, which is our return, our monitor path. So remember, a split console is kind of like having 2 consoles stuck together. We have one for input and one for monitoring. So if we look up here, what we're seeing on this, which is, channel 14, we're seeing the return of Pro Tools on the meter, on the LED. We see the input, the actual input to the console. That isn't the level that it's going out of the console. That's the level that it's coming in. So that's basically the level from the microphone preamp.
And the red light means preamp. It's recording.
Okay, so red is there.
And then you have green here, meaning we are listening to the line input.
Oh, so line input versus mic input.
Yeah, the red side and the green side.
So red side, when you see that, it's on this, it's showing mic input, which is a different level reference than line input, which is people sometimes those are labeled as tape machine returns. Basically, it's just line level. So now, Mauricio, turn down the send to tape level from the console. So Mauricio pulled that down, and what we see is it's still at the preamp. It's not in Pro Tools anymore, and it's definitely not over here at the console on 14. Once he puts it up on turns it up, then we're going to see that signal coming back on the monitor path. Cool. So we know it's coming in, but we're still not hearing it. Our next gain, now there is a gain stage at this point at the actual input, but we have those calibrated, so we really don't need to mess with those too much. Coming back from Pro Tools, that level should be calibrated, so you shouldn't have to trim it, you shouldn't have to alter it like you would a mic level. So that now goes down in a similar path manner as our microphone, where we have the EQs, and then we have the auxiliaries, which allow us to send it to reverbs or some other type of effects unit. We have our panning, and just as before, we have the solo and the cut buttons. And so now if we turn up the green section, that's going to now send it to our program master. Or a bus mat. What do they call it? A program or a stereo bus here?
Mix bus.
Mix bus. So they call that a mix bus on this console. And we see that labeled here as mix. That's saying, what are these meters showing me? They're showing me my mix bus.
Here are the assignments for.
Oh, great. And what we can do is you actually have to assign it to a bus. You have to say, where do I want this thing to go? Well, I want this thing to go, and we see it here, is saying mix. If I deselect that, it's now not going anywhere. There, it's telling me where it's going. It's telling me which bus it's going to.
And of course, this half of the console is going to the mix bus.
So this is all assigned. We
This
see
is
all
going
these
to the
green.
recorder.
Yeah, as Mauricio just pointed out, we see all the green lights here. I can't see. Okay, there we go. It's tough on the camera. See all the green lights there, and that means these channels are going to the mix bus. So we'll be able to hear those out your stereo main outputs. So now we're going to monitor, and we selected, this is our master section, our center section, saying, what do I want to hear? What do I want to listen to? Along with the ever popular master fader. This is how we can do a nice fade out at the end of a song. Instead of pulling down every channel from our mix at the exact same time, we can pull down just that. This is telling me how loud it's going to go out the console. So that's a general overview of what we have here. Now let's listen to see what happens. So Mauricio, if you pull down the microphone preamp, so keep all that going. We're going to pull the mic preamp down. We've got nothing. We have nothing. That's my first gain stage. So obviously we turn that down. Nothing else is going to come through. We turn that up to a good level. If you turn down your channel fader, which is sending it to tape, obviously it's cutting the signal off right there. Nothing is getting into Pro Tools now. I have no levels in Pro Tools because the console isn't sending any level out. We turn that up so we can get level to Pro Tools. And now it's going into Pro Tools. It's coming out of Pro Tools back into our console, into our monitor section here. And now if you pull down your monitor returns, of course it's at the end of a song, but if you pull down your monitor return, then I have nothing going to my mix bus. Because right now it's basically cutting it off. These are all gain stages that act together. So we turn that up, and now we're on to the next song. We've assigned this to the mix bus. If we want to pan it, why don't we pan left and right, although when we look at our mix, probably can't hear it on this, but and then turn pan right. We're seeing the difference on the meters. Can't hear it on this particular video camera though. And then if we finally pull down our program master, our mix bus, then nothing is going out of the console. It's a general overview of what we have here as far as signals. Now there's additional portions of the master section that allow us to communicate with those folks that are in the live room. The talkback section allows us to do that. So we have, where's the talkback on this, Mauricio? So we have our talkback section here with a nice glare, but we have talkback all, foldback A, foldback B, which foldback is a fancy word for Q sends or headphone sends. External talkback, if I want to have a different mic, maybe a producer's in the back of the room and they're not close, they can have their own microphone. Slate. Slate sends everything out the console as well as to all your record channels, which is a nice thing. But you never want to press that if you're ever bad-mouthing the artist or the producer, because then it'll be recorded to tape. Not that you ever would. All right. And that's a general overview with the other sources we have here for the master section. We can listen to a number of things. Right now we're listening to the mix bus. Whenever Mauricio pressed the mix bus that illuminated. And that says that's what's going to be heard out of our speakers. We have a number of different things that could also be connected there. Maybe another alternate return from the Pro Tools. Or something else, like what you have Mauricio as a phone we can hook up here.
This is a connector for external B. So if you want to listen to this, you can maybe reference your mix to something you know. You have to select external B, and then you can listen to this.
And then we could hear the output of that. So it's an alternate output, just like your home receiver where you can press TV or CD or DVD and it all goes out the same speakers. Same thing here with this particular section of the particular master section, the center section. Of note, the monitor level, that does not affect the level coming out of the console. I'm turning it up, but the level is still the same. All that's doing is affecting how much of that level is sent to the speakers. So we have to realize that the volume control is not affecting how loud things are coming out of the console. This master bus fader, mix bus fader, is what affects what is coming out of the console. And you can get more confusing with additional options here, such as having effects returns, reverbs, and things of that nature coming back to the console at different places. But for a general overview of signal flow, we're seeing it here in a split format. All right.